IPL presents Cricbuzz Live. Now, if you have a look at that run chase, I was trying to find one little factor, and that factor is a little secret I'll let you into. A gentleman by the name of Rahul Tripathi, who was part of the run chase, has a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. They say his lowest score in the subject, his father said, was 98. The problem was his strike rate should have been well in excess of 98, and it didn't go in that direction. One of the reasons, I reckon, the Rajasthan Royals have fallen short. I wonder if my panel agrees, Harsha Bhogle and Michael Vaughan. Michael, mathematics graduates shouldn't be miscalculating a run chase.
No, I think that was the definition of how not to chase. Yeah. You know, both in the way that they went about it in terms of stroke play, not enough skill in finding the gaps. Too many shots hitting the boundary riders right to the. You've got to, at this level, be able to hit the hard shots and also find the gaps. That's what these players earn the books for. They're that good. Rajasthan Royals couldn't do that. The tactical side of it, Ajinkya Rahane bringing himself in the 12th over, when Sanju Samson was out the second wicket fall. The rate's at just over 10s at that stage. He's not that kind of striker. Ashton Turner had to come in then. Just give him a few balls, and then all of a sudden, by the time Ashton Turner comes out and Stuart Binney, almost the game's lost, and all they can do is swing. Turner gets out first ball, and Binney gets them to within 12. They needed that style of player from around the 12th over, not an Ajinkya Rahane Nerdle who's just knocking it around, striking it at 110. That wasn't going to win the game. So tactically they were wrong. In terms of the skill levels, they were nowhere near.
Harsha, he got the arithmetic wrong. But in terms of geometry, he had the perfect precision in finding the fielders. Except that's not what you need to do.
No, it wasn't a run chase at all. It was a run jog. they never chased. There was no finishing kick. You know, I keep telling this story. When we were at school, we had this guy who said, I run the 5,000 meters. So we've all gone to cheer for him when he runs the first lap and the second and the third, and it gets to 4,000, 4,200, 4,600. We were all cheering. He just jogged his way to the finish line. He finished 8th or whatever, no finishing. He just kept jogging all the way. That was Rajasthan Royals today. And they just jogged. I mean, Stuart Binney came and hit a lot at the end, but by the time he started hitting, the game was already gone, so there was nothing to play for.
Yeah, I can tell you that if you were listening to our predictions, I should ideally have been the owner of the MPL Super Couch, having set a 10-run deficit. But because my MPL Super team performed so dismally, like their run chase, I decided to give it up and say that no one's going to get the couch, even though my prediction...
I mean, there were two matches going on. One he's playing his game, one is the one that's going on. His was more exciting.
Oh, yeah, I was more involved in yours. I was going, what's happening? The chase. I was like, what are they doing?
I mean, every time Tripathi scored a run, there he was. But, you know, we talked about Rahane, and Rahane is not the player for that. But Tripathi was sent out to open the batting with a specific purpose, which is there's going to be a lot of spin, go take it on. Like, that's your reputation. That's what you do when you play for Maharashtra. That's what you did when you played for RPSG, Rising Pune Super Giant.
The single giant.
Single giant, not many giants, only one giant. But he made 50 or 45. So he was supposed to go and get the ball rolling. What it tells me is they knew all along that Buttler is the key to that chase. It tells me now that Buttler is even more so the key to that chase. Buttler doesn't score runs, they don't win.
I have to say though, Harsha, at the end of it, I can't see Rajasthan qualifying with Buttler leaving in a week's time. Stokes clearly got a niggle. Archer, he'll be on that plane back home to the UK. I have pretty much every confidence in. You look at the squad of the Rajasthan Royals, and someone will get hold of that squad, probably next year now, and make them into a winning team. They've got everything that you would require. All the right kind of tactical players, all the different angle changes. They've got the leg spinner, they've got an off spinner. You know, they've got a bit of pace, they've got a left armour.
In the tournament. So that's why, in many ways, I like Rajasthan Royals setup. I really like their attitude to the game, the spirit they bring to the game. But they've been one of the disappointments so far for me.
Yes, and of course, at the other end, you had one reason, apart from all the things they lacked in the chase, was our MPL hero of the match, who denied them with bat and ball. Mind you, Ravichandran Ashwin there for his captaincy, there for his bowling, but right at the end, those key runs, 17 of 4 balls, really made the difference between what would have looked like a very gettable score and something that maybe started worrying them.
Yeah, he's enjoying being captain. You knew. I mean, it was clear. Word was on the circuit. Very clear that Ashwin wanted to lead a franchise side. I mean, he's Chennai Super Kings, remember? Chennai Super Kings, a franchise everybody wants to play for. but he wanted to be captain. He moves to Kings 11, and last year they fell off the cliff. Last year after a great start, if he takes them to the knockouts, he'll be happy. It wasn't the best balanced side, but if he takes them to the knockouts, and if he keeps hitting 17 or 4 or 17 or 5.
Well, that was a turning point. That was a real twist in the game, because that really kind of galvanised the Kings going into the break. Would have kind of got a lot of spirit into that fielding kind of group. They always realised that around that target they've got a great chance of squeezing the opposing side. They did exactly that. Ashwin with the ball in hand. He bowled the nice overs, I have to say. He bowled the 7th, the 10th, the 12th and the 16th. They're nice overs to be bowling. But he bowled nicely. He got 2 for 24, I think it was. So he's kind of controlling the game nicely as a captain. I think he's tactical now, so he's very, very good. Some of his subtle field change, like having a fine third man to seamers. You know, the last Rahane wicket, the top edge, that could quite easily have bounced for 4, but he's got a fielder fine at short third man. Easy catch for Shami. So little things like that I notice that a few other captains aren't quite on the ball as much as Ravi Ashwin.
We also like him to bowl the tougher overs, don't you?
Well, he's too good. He can't be lobbing Mujib the chance. You know, you bowl 3 in the pile, I bowl 7, 10, 12 and 16, you know. Yeah. Better bowler than that. He's more experienced to be able to take on the challenge.
Yeah, remember they also lost Mujib's 4th over because he fell over and did his left shoulder in, so Mandeep had to bowl 1 over.
There was the over.
Despite that.
There was the over. That over had to go for 15, 16 to just kickstart the chase and give it the M word.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they could bowl Sandeep then, because they brought in Ajinkya Rahane. As soon as Ajinkya walk out there, I mean, the skipper must go, oh, you beauty. There's my 1 over in the bag. On you come. Simple.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't have Sarfraz to turn to. So anyone want to bowl for me? Yeah, come on then. Well, we also had an MPL super team hero, and I can give you one big clue. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I had a terrible team out there. I had a decent team out there. I just got beaten.
You were doing a good job of forcing a smile. Yeah. You weren't smiling when the game was on.
No. But let's find out who our real hero is. Our MPL super team hero is Anas Khan with 399.75, and that I can tell you is a very substantial score. Anything in excess of 350. We had a 400 plus the other day. That is serious. Let you into a little secret. My score was around the 250 mark. So that's something to worry about. But remember, these are not the only games. We fight for the MPL Super Couch. All of you fight for the MPL Super Team Hero. But there's so much more to play on the MPL app. You can run out's one of my favorites, by the way. So get on there. Pick many games you can choose from. And I can tell you, pick on run out. Don't be like the Rajasthan Royals. Don't be run out as far as the game is concerned. But play the game, enjoy yourself, lots to win. That's as far as this game is concerned.
No, you can continue. Michael and me is having a private conversation. Better jacket, you think, than Fantasy League player?
I think the jacket's cost him today.
The jacket's cost me, is it?
I think so, yeah.
Minus points for this?
Yeah. I liked it at the start. It's kind of worn off on me.
All right.
I also liked it when you wore socks that had 6 colours in them.
Yeah, as opposed to no socks at all. That's fine. Let's leave that out. Pro Cricket, by the way, is another one that you can get onto on the MPL app. But tomorrow's game, there's another big one. We talked about a rivalry here between 2 players who possibly could have sneaked in at one point in time into the Indian World Cup 15. Maybe they would have made the 20, both not playing, both captaining. At the moment, it's going to be a different kind of rivalry. It's Hyderabad against Chennai. Now, we know Chennai are top of the tree. Hyderabad suddenly starting to fall off the rails. But a very interesting rivalry we'll talk about in a moment. First, let's have a look at the points table and where it stands and why it's so significant, particularly for the Sunrisers Hyderabad. Because the start of the season, first 3 or 4 games, you said, okay, they're one of the 4 to go through to the playoffs. Suddenly, you're saying you're not so sure at all because they're playing the top team. If Chennai keep winning, then Hyderabad look like they're in a bit of trouble.
They need to win that. They win that, they go to 8. Their net run rate will be better. Kolkata will drop down even more, which will lead to a lot of anguish in Cricbuzz. But they need to win that. I mean, you looked at, just as we looked at the Rajasthan Royals balance, you looked at Sunrisers and you said they've got everything. They've got replacements, they've got all the big hitting players. Warner and Bairstow, 3-century opening partnerships to start off the IPL. They had everything. They had enough fast bowlers to feed all the other teams. And suddenly they're 3-4. They lose tomorrow, they're 3-5. And they're saying, wow, where are we going to get the next 5 wins from?
Now, Michael, the strange thing about having everything, as Harsha said, is sometimes maybe you have too much to choose from. And now they're in a position where obviously you're wanting to play the top two, which is Warner and Best, who have been so successful. If then Williamson comes into the mix as captain, that means the three players you possibly want on a slower pitch, Shakib Al Hasan, Rashid Khan, Mohammad Nabi, only one of those three makes the squad.
Yeah, that's the difficulty. I mean, Kane Williamson's the skipper. He has to play. The opening combination has been, I guess the real big positive for the Sunrisers this year. So the opening pair will have to play, and you've got to say Rashid Khan has to play. You're looking at Mohammad Nabi, who is so unfortunate. Shakib Al Hasan can't even get a look in. But it's Mohammad Nabi that is the unfortunate one, because he's been outstanding. He's a real clever bowler, a real clever cricketer on slow wickets, which it is there. His style of cricketer is so important. I just wonder whether, because it's such a desperation game and they have to win, I just wonder if Kane Williamson will just drop out. I just wonder if he'll go, wait a minute, Nabi has to play, Rashid Khan has to play, the two openers have to play, I may have to step out.
Yeah.
He didn't get any runs in the last game. He is an outstanding player, an outstanding leader, but I just wonder on this occasion, with the team so desperate to win the game, he may just have to step back and go, what is the best 11 for my team today? And it may be that Nabi has to play, Rashid Khan has to play, and the two openers play, and he may miss out.
Yeah, but the strange surface the other day, the team batting second, the surface just died. It just died completely now. Can surfaces change too much across a square? I mean, if you take one track, one wicket versus another, but it's on the same square, so they largely behave the same.
Yeah, I mean, the Indian squares aren't like English squares where we have lots of pitches. So you've only got a few to play with. And generally in tournaments, the longer the tournament goes on, the pitches start to wear and tear a little bit, because you're going back to a used pitch that was probably used 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I can't see it's going to be any quicker. I think it'll be similar in terms of bit of spin, slow balls, hit the pitch hard as a bowling unit. Saw a bit of bounce. Wasn't quick bounce, but it was tennis ball bounce. So it wouldn't surprise me tomorrow if Kane Williamson brought back Nabi.
Would it be something that he would sit himself, look in the mirror and say, I need to do it? Tom Moody?
No, he's a good man. I have a lot of time for Kane Williamson. I can't say I know him very well, but in my interaction with him, he comes across as a good man. My view of Kane Williamson, from what I know of him, is if he thinks the team is better served with Nabi playing ahead of him, he'll do that.
You had a chat with him for Cricbuzz Unplugged, which we'll hear from soon.
And last year as well, he just comes across as a very decent, very thoughtful captain. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if, as Michael is saying, if he thinks that Nabi is the better player on that surface than him, a better combination, a better set of things he's offering to the side, he won't think twice.
I can tell you my first interaction with him was going to watch a baseball game in Florida. And he was like a little child wanting to grasp every little bit, because he was asked to throw the first pitch. Those guys had no idea who he was. They were just told, this guy, the fourth best cricketer on earth, he's coming, he's going to throw the first pitch for the Marlins. And these guys they had no idea who he was. And he walked in there, he was super excited, said, give me the ball, what do I got to do? He practiced pitching for a good hour so he didn't get it wrong.
Did he want a gentle off break, the offie like that?
Yeah.
Oh, he did okay. He did okay.
It's a tricky one. I mean, David Warner in the last 2 or 3 games is playing very different as well. He's scoring at 105, 110. I mean, that's not Warner, right? Warner will get those batting right-handed.
Yeah, I think, Johnny Bairstow will just play. He doesn't worry about the kind of batting to come. He just plays his natural game and tries to whack it. I just wonder in the back of David Warner's mind has been the fact that he's not trusting the middle order. He's known that they've looked so vulnerable. It's been on 2 occasions now they've just collapsed.
Bit like Virat Kohli?
Maybe. Only they can answer that question. But it looks to me like for Sunrisers to win games, they can't just expect the openers to get them pretty much 90% of the way there. The middle order has got to step up and start striking some.
It makes a very valid. I think there's more than one team that's where the openers are starting to think, if we don't get them off to a good start, then what happens thereafter? The slower the surface, the more you're playing into CSK hands. I mean, Dhoni is the master of the slow surface with spinners, right? They're like marionettes. He's just holding them. he plays around with his spinners. So the slower it gets, the better it is for CSK.
Yeah, let's have a look at what Dhoni has at his disposal, what the master has at his disposal, and have a look at the spinners that he has. The champion in Imran Tahir, Mitchell Santon, has been almost getting better with every single game. Jadeja is his trusted lieutenant, so he's already got 3 right there.
And Harbhajan's got 2 Man of the Match awards already in
and we haven't even counted him in that.
Yeah, I think the big one for me is Shane Watson. Will he play? Will Shane Watson get another outing, or will they throw in someone like Sam Billings at the top of the order? You know, you have to say that Shane Watson, if he gets one more go, he'll be very lucky because of his numbers in this year's IPL. But, you know, knowing MS Dhoni, knowing the way that the Chennai Super Kings operate, it wouldn't surprise me at all if this weren't same 11. Get out there,
and
play some
Shane
cricket.
Watson, unlike before, is not bowling anymore. When he was bowling, you knew you had that dimension, those few key overs he'd get in there. Without that, against Ambati Rayudu.
I have a soft corner for Ambati Rayudu, as you know, but tomorrow, if he's going to get 3D glasses to watch a game, he's not going to be able to play 3D cricket because he bowled in one of the games in playing for India. His action was questioned, and India did not even appeal that. Which means they said, "Yeah, we know he does. We know he chucks the ball. Let it be." So he can't bowl. So he's only going to be able to play in 2 dimensions tomorrow.
What's his personality going to be out there? We talked about Ashwin, Rahane, ifs and buts about getting into the team.
Go hard.
He was talked about till the very last minute. Selector talked about him, why he's not made it. How does he go and play tomorrow?
Well, he can only do one thing: go and get some runs. You know, you can sulk, you can tweet, do whatever you want, but the only way to answer any kind of disappointment in cricket or in sport is just go and prove people wrong. Go and get 100, you know, and get another one in the next game and another one in the game after that, because we're still, 6 weeks away from the World Cup?
Yeah.
And one thing that he doesn't want to do is completely rule himself out if there was an injury.
It could be an injury.
Correct. And a professional player, yes, you have those moments where you go back to your room and you hate the selectors, you hate the captain, but then you have to look yourself in the mirror and go, right, where am I at? How do I get back in the team? And the only way as a batsman to get back into the team is score runs.
That's true of every athlete. An athlete can only speak the language of his performance.
Correct.
The athlete cannot speak the language of words and commas and semicolons and adjectives. Athletes only speak the language of performance.
Wasn't long ago, a certain gentleman with golf club in hand proved to the world what comebacks are all about. But let's focus on the cricket and also focus on the answer to that little tough question, or maybe not so tough question we set for you thanks to our Joy Factor input. And let's quickly remind you what the question was. And this is what it is.
You played on the ground with it. It's about the tree in it,
Yeah,
right?
it's the tree.
Should be the tree. The great West Indian batsman Carl Hooper, the only Kent cricketer to accomplish which feat at the historic St. Lawrence Canterbury Cricket Ground. Larry Constantine, Jim Smith and Arthur Watson. What is it that they did? Let's confirm the answer.
Hit a 6 over the St. Lawrence
over the
line
tree,
tree.
yeah.
So what was it? You had to hit a 6 over the tree?
Yeah.
Because the tree was inside the ground,
So
wasn't
the
it?
tree was inside the boundary, and to hit a 6 over the tree, it couldn't touch any of the branch. As soon as it touched the branch or a leaf, it was a 4.
But that's how we played in our backyard. If it hits the tree.
You could hit some of your greatest shots, and it just clips the branch at the top, and it's a 4.
Yeah, so you just hit the tree, it's a 4. If you go over the lime tree, as they said, it's a 6. So the only people to actually clear the lime tree, good old Carl Hooper.
And in 2005, they took the tree out, didn't they?
That's right.
And they planted it somewhere else, or they just took it out. Because knowing English tradition, they would have gone really angry if someone had cut the tree or something. No, you've got to take it out and replant.
One thing's for sure, the one in Peter Maritzburg is still there. They haven't touched that.
Inside the ground?
Inside the ground.
Oh, I thought this was the only one.
No, Peter Maritzburg, also inside the ground.
I thought Peter Maritzburg only had a railway station.
Yes, a famous railway platform, which is about 2 kilometers away from that tree at the ground, where India played a match in the 2003 World Cup against Namibia.
Peter Maritzburg, P-I-E, as in Peterson.
As in Peter Maritzburg, yeah.
Zola Peters.
Very nice, very nice. Let's move on now. Where are we? We've got to find the winner. Yes, yes, very nice. Lekker. Yeah, bro. Let's get the winner out from here. And our winner is Siddhartha SV. And he's got that as well. He's won before, Siddhartha _SV. Well done on that. We expected this one would get a lot of answers. It was about not fastest tweet first, fastest finger first, and get it in with hashtag Cricbuzz Live. Well, that's all we have from MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live. We've had a bit of fun. We've had some musical chairs earlier. Michael Vaughan and Harsha Bhogle trading places. But today it was you on the couch.
Oh, well, you know, it's...
But just about,
Easy job, innit?
Yeah, how many? You won it 4 times in a row, didn't you?
I thought I'd give you a chance.
yeah, well, right on the stroke of midnight, it's time to say goodbye and good night. And thank you, gentlemen.
Good night.
Good night.
Yes.
And wish you better luck with your picks in the next game.
Yes, I know. I'll have to be avoid. I'm not going to be sledged tomorrow. Michael's going to be with us.
You can't have a bowler as a captain.
Yeah, I know. You can't have a bowler as a captain. Okay, lesson learned. I'm not supposed to share that with everyone. We keep some of the wisdom to ourselves. So we'll chat about this a little bit more, but we'll let all of you go. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you again. MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live.